Welcome to World of Coins. Rare wheat pennies you won't believe are worth more than your house. Watch to see if you have one. Top 1. You might want to stop what you're doing right now and take a serious look inside your coin jar, because the penny you've been overlooking could be a once-in-a-lifetime jackpot. We're talking about the American Lincoln Wheat penny from 1917, stamped with the iconic S Mint mark, from none other than the San Francisco Mint. But this isn't your ordinary pocket change. This is a coin that came directly from a proof set, and the kind of coin that makes collectors lose sleep. Because this one? It could be worth more than your house. Let that sink in. A small copper coin from over a century ago, one that most people wouldn't think twice about, could quietly be sitting in an old box or handed down from a grandparent. And its value? Absolutely mind-blowing. So if you've ever been curious about rare coins, vintage money, or just love hearing about insane collector finds, stay right here. This could be the most valuable penny story you'll hear this year. Let's go back to 1917. It was the middle of World War I. The country was shifting. The U.S. Mint was producing millions of Lincoln Wheat pennies, tough, durable coins for everyday American use. But while most coins were being pumped out en masse at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, the San Francisco Mint did something different. A select few Lincoln pennies were made to a much higher standard. We're talking about proof coins. Coins not meant for circulation, but carefully struck for collectors and presentations. These were the elite of their kind, produced with extra precision, using polished dies and hand-picked copper planchets. Fewer flaws, sharper details, mirror-like surfaces. Now mix that quality with the S Mint mark, and what you get is a 1917 S Lincoln Wheat penny proof coin, so rare and mysterious that even veteran collectors consider it a bucket list coin. Here's where things get insane. While millions of regular 1917 pennies were produced, the number of 1917 S proof coins is incredibly low. We're talking single digits left in existence, maybe even fewer, depending on the condition you're looking for. That's right. This coin is nearly mythical. It's not just the rarity that blows minds, it's the design detail. The deep, rich wheat ears on the reverse. Lincoln's sharply defined bust on the front. The "In God We Trust" slogan still blazing strong after more than 100 years. And the tiny but mighty S beneath the date, standing for San Francisco, making it stand out like a diamond in the dirt. This is what makes collectors fight to get their hands on it. Now let's get to what you've been waiting for, the value. Because this is where it gets juicy. If you're lucky enough to own a 1917 S Lincoln Wheat penny from a proof set, and it's been preserved well, maybe even professionally graded by the likes of NGC or PCGS, then sit down, because you're not just holding history, you're holding a small fortune. Collectors have paid anywhere between $150,000 to $188,000 for this coin. Yes. You heard that right. That's $150,000, all the way up to $188,000 for one single penny. Not a gold coin. Not a misprint. Not a bank error. A standard denomination penny, but from a proof set. From San Francisco. And from 1917. And it's coins like these that turn everyday people into overnight legends in the coin world. So the next time you see an old penny lying around, don't just toss it aside. Look at the date. Look for that little S Mint mark. And if the detail on the coin looks unusually crisp, you just might be staring at one of the rarest proof coins in American coin history. So what should you do next? Pull out your old coin collection. Ask your parents, your grandparents. Go through those forgotten tins and dusty drawers. You never know what might be hiding in plain sight, and if you think you found something special, get it authenticated immediately. Because the difference between a regular old penny and one worth nearly 200 grand is just a few little letters and the right eyes to recognize it. Smash that like button if you love coin stories like this. Hit subscribe for more videos on rare US coins worth thousands and even hundreds of thousands. And share this with someone you know who's got a coin collection, because they might be holding a six-figure treasure and not even know it. Until next time, keep hunting, and never underestimate the power of a penny. Top 2. What if I told you that a small brown penny, A coin so common people throw it on the ground without thinking, could actually be the key to unlocking your next six-figure payday? Yes, I'm serious. And no, this isn't one of those gimmicks. We're talking about the American Lincoln Wheat penny, specifically from 1941, stamped with a D mint mark, made in Denver, and this is the part that makes collectors lose their minds. It came from a proof set. That tiny detail? That's what separates a regular old penny from a full-blown treasure. So, before you toss your change or overlook that old coin jar sitting in your kitchen drawer, let me tell you why the 1941 D Lincoln Wheat penny from a proof set could be one of the most valuable coins in the United States. Let's rewind time for a moment. The year was 1941. The world was bracing for global conflict, and America was standing on the edge of war. While factories were prepping for wartime production, the U.S. Mint kept doing what it does best, striking millions of coins for the American people. Among those were the beloved Lincoln Wheat pennies, featuring the strong profile of Abraham Lincoln on one side, and those famous twin wheat stalks on the reverse. And while millions of these pennies were made across the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints, something extremely rare happened in Denver. A very small number of 1941 D Lincoln Wheat pennies were struck as proof coins. Now hold up, because this is important. Proof coins are not your everyday coins. They're made using special, highly polished dies, with extra pressure, and they're struck multiple times to bring out insane levels of detail. These aren't just coins, they're basically artwork in metal. They're crisp, shiny, mirror-like, and absolutely stunning to the trained eye. And in 1941, the Denver Mint wasn't exactly known for producing proof coins. That's what makes this so wild. The fact that a proof 1941 D Lincoln penny even exists is a shock to most collectors. These were not supposed to be made at all, making them beyond rare. Some numismatists believe these were experimental strikes, or even secret strikes, pieces made under special conditions, not released to the public, and now whispered about in collector circles like legends. And here's where it gets intense. If one of these ultra-rare 1941 D proof pennies ends up in your hands, maybe in an old inherited coin album, or mixed in with a pile of vintage wheat pennies, you could be looking at something that's not just rare, but life-changing. These coins have exceptional eye appeal. That Denver D mint mark below the date is crisp and sharp. Lincoln's profile? You can see every strand of his hair. The mirror-like finish on these proof strikes? Unreal. This is the kind of coin that makes millionaires, investors, and elite collectors go head-to-head in heated auction bidding wars. Now the big question, what is a 1941 D Lincoln Wheat penny from a proof set actually worth? Let's talk numbers. Because this is where everything changes. A verified, graded, and authenticated 1941 D Lincoln Wheat penny, one that came from a true proof set, with pristine surfaces and a high-grade classification, has sold for amounts that leave jaws on the floor. I'm talking about prices ranging from $125,000 to $155,000. Let that sink in. A single copper penny, worth more than a brand new Porsche. Worth more than college tuition. Worth more than most people's entire savings accounts. And this isn't fiction. This is a real coin. A real sale. And a real possibility sitting in your own home. So what can you do about it? Start digging. Check those old coin folders. Visit estate sales, garage sales, flea markets. Talk to your parents, your grandparents. You never know who might have one of these hidden in a drawer, totally unaware that they're holding a six-figure coin. And if you think you've spotted something with a 1941 date, an AD mint mark that looks unusually sharp, shiny, and flawless, get that coin professionally graded, ASAP. Services like PCGS and NGC can tell you if what you've got is the real deal. Because this isn't just about coins. This is about hidden wealth. This is about the thrill of discovery. And this is about never, ever underestimating the value of a penny. So go ahead, smash that like button if you love stories like this. Subscribe for more jaw-dropping finds in the world of US coins. And share this with a friend who collects, or who just might be holding one of the most valuable pennies in America without even knowing it. Until next time, keep your eyes open, your coin jars close, and your dreams big. because the next penny you touch might be worth over $150,000. Top 3. Imagine waking up one morning, reaching into an old drawer or coin jar, and pulling out a single penny that's worth more than most people make in an entire year. Sounds impossible, right? But what if I told you that exact scenario has already happened, and it all started with one of the most overlooked coins in U.S. history. We're diving deep into the American Lincoln Wheat penny from 1945. With that key D mint mark, struck in Denver. But here's the twist. This isn't just your everyday wartime penny. This one came from a proof set. And that changes everything. You heard that right. A 1945 D Lincoln Wheat penny proof coin. It's ultra rare, mysterious, and for the lucky few who own one, insanely valuable. So grab your coin collections, open your old family albums, and stick around, because this could be the most important penny story you ever hear. Let's talk about the year 1945. World War II was ending. The country was exhausted but hopeful. And while American soldiers were returning home, the U.S. Mint was still pumping out coins for a nation ready to rebuild. Millions of Lincoln Wheat pennies were struck that year, one of the highest mintages in the entire Wheat penny series. But buried among those everyday coins, something extraordinary happened at the Denver Mint. A tiny handful of proof-quality 1945 D Lincoln pennies were secretly or specially struck. These weren't mass-produced. They weren't meant for circulation. These were flawless, carefully crafted coins, possibly test strikes, presentation pieces, or experimental issues. And that's what makes them worth a fortune today. Let's break this down. A regular 1945 D penny. It's common, worth a few cents. But a proof-struck 1945 D Lincoln Wheat penny? That's like finding a hidden treasure chest at the bottom of your backyard. These coins shine like mirrors. The surface is deep, rich copper with a near-perfect finish. Lincoln's portrait is so sharp, it looks like it was engraved yesterday. The reverse, with those iconic wheat stalks, stands tall and proud. And beneath the date, that crisp D mint mark that tells you it was born in Denver. Now let me be crystal clear. Proof coins from Denver in 1945 are not supposed to exist. This wasn't a time when Denver was producing official proof sets. That's why even a single coin like this being found sends shockwaves through the coin collecting world. When one appears, major auction houses take notice. Elite collectors prepare to throw down massive offers. And history books are rewritten. So how do you know if you've got one? Simple: the shine, the clarity, the sharpness of every detail. And of course, the story behind where it came from. But to be sure, you need a professional opinion. Companies like PCGS or NGC can certify and grade it, and that certification can change your life. Now let's get to the good part. The reason you're still watching. Exactly how much is a 1945 D Lincoln Wheat penny from a proof set worth? Here it comes. A professionally authenticated and high-grade 1945 D Lincoln Wheat penny. One that originated from a proof set and has the flawless characteristics of a true rarity, has been valued between $125,000 to $153,000. Yes. That's real. A penny, that's worth over $150,000. Let that sink in for a second. You could be holding one. Someone you know could be holding one. This is the type of coin that turns an ordinary person into an overnight success story. And this is why coin collectors, investors, and even treasure hunters are now obsessed with rare wheat pennies, especially those with unusual origins like this proof-struck 1945-D. So here's your call to action. Start looking. Check old rolls of pennies. Go through those dusty coin albums. Talk to older relatives. Search estate sales, flea markets, antique shops. Because while millions of regular 1945 D pennies exist, only a tiny handful of proof quality pieces are known, and some may still be hidden out there. If you think you've found one, get it graded immediately. It could be the best decision you ever make. Hit that like button if you're loving these rare coin stories. Subscribe for more real discoveries, shocking values, and coin facts you can't afford to miss. And share this video with your friends and family. Someone out there might be sitting on a goldmine and have no clue. Until next time, keep searching, because the next penny you touch might be worth more than $150,000. Top 4. What if I told you that one of the most ordinary looking coins in American history could secretly be worth more than a year's salary? You might think it's just an old penny. But it's not just any penny. It's the 1950 Lincoln Wheat penny, and not the one you'd find in pocket change. I'm talking about the one pulled straight from a proof set. The rare, shiny, mint condition beauty that's turning heads in the coin collecting world. This one little coin could be worth a massive fortune. And it might be hiding in your collection right now. If you're a coin collector, investor, or even just someone curious about rare US coins worth serious cash, this is one video you do not want to skip. Because we're talking about a penny that's being bought, sold, and hunted for thousands upon thousands of dollars. And it all starts with a quiet little proof coin from 1950. Let's take it back for a second. The year was 1950. America was booming after World War II. The economy was growing, technology was advancing, and the US Mint was back to producing coins at full strength. That year, millions of Lincoln Wheat pennies rolled off the presses, strong, simple, and designed to be used, spent, and forgotten. But deep inside the US Mint, a limited number of proof sets were created, struck with special care, using highly polished dies, for collectors and presentation purposes. And in those proof sets were Lincoln Wheat pennies like no other. The difference? Everything. Proof coins have that mirror-like surface. Sharper details. A flawless strike. They aren't just coins, they're collector-grade perfection. And when it comes to the 1950 Lincoln Wheat penny proof, you're talking about one of the rarest and most mysterious pieces from the mid-20th century. Most people have never even seen one. And the few that are known today? They sit locked away in private collections or auction catalogs, where they're fetching prices that are absolutely jaw-dropping. And here's the craziest part. While the Philadelphia Mint officially struck proof coins starting again in 1950 after an 8-year break, finding a 1950 proof Lincoln Wheat penny with perfect qualities, certified by top grading agencies, is like finding treasure in the wild. The moment a coin like this shows up, collectors start scrambling. Dealers start bidding. Auctions heat up. And values start climbing. Because these coins are more than just old copper. They're historical assets. So how do you know if you have one? First, look for that high gloss, mirror-like finish. Proof coins will shine in a way that circulated coins just can't replicate. Second, look for strong, defined edges and razor-sharp details, especially in Lincoln's profile and the wheat stalks on the reverse. If it looks too perfect to be true, you might be holding something extraordinary. Now comes the moment you've been waiting for. How much is a 1950 Lincoln Wheat penny from a proof set actually worth? Take a deep breath. Because a professionally graded, high-quality proof specimen from 1950 has sold for $125,000 to $147,000. Yes. That's real. A single penny, worth over $140,000. Let that sink in. A coin that most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up from the sidewalk could pay off your mortgage, buy a brand new luxury car, or completely transform your savings account. That's the power of numismatics, the world of rare coins. And that's why now, more than ever, people are going through their old collections, checking their inherited coin albums, and looking twice at every wheat penny they come across. So what should you do? Start looking. Don't assume that old jar of pennies is worthless. Don't ignore that coin folder from your grandparents' attic. And whatever you do, if you find a 1950 penny that looks too shiny, too sharp, too flawless, get it graded immediately. Because you just might be holding the next six-figure coin. If you found this story insane, smash that like button right now. Subscribe for more unbelievable coin values, hidden money stories, and real treasure hunts across American currency. And don't forget to share this video, because someone you know might be sitting on a 1950 proof penny worth more than $140,000 and have no clue. Until next time, keep your eyes open, your coins close, and your dreams greedy. Top 5. You've probably seen it 100 times, a plain brown penny, sitting quietly at the bottom of a drawer, in a jar, or tossed aside like it's worthless. But what if I told you that one of those so-called worthless pennies from 1951 could actually be worth more than a beachfront vacation home? No exaggeration. This is the American Lincoln Wheat penny from 1951, pulled directly from a proof set, and it's one of the most valuable and elusive coins collectors are hunting down right now. And yes, it's real. It's verified. And it's sold for six-figure money. If you're into rare coins, hidden treasures, or just curious about how a penny could be worth more than a Tesla, stick around, because you won't believe how much this tiny piece of copper can sell for. Let's rewind to the early 1950s. The United States was booming. The war was over, families were growing, suburbs were spreading, and coin collecting, it was gaining major traction. That's when the US Mint started producing proof sets again for the public, highly polished, pristine coins made just for collectors. Among these, the 1951 Lincoln Wheat penny proof quietly emerged, and while millions of 1951 wheat pennies were produced for circulation, meant to be spent and forgotten, the proof version, it was made with extreme care, using polished dies, hand-selected planchets, and special striking techniques that make it glow like no ordinary coin. The result? A penny that looks like it was carved out of pure perfection. You can see every fine line in Lincoln's hair. The words, "In God We Trust," shimmer with clarity. And the wheat stalks on the reverse are so sharp, they practically pop off the surface. Now here's where it gets exciting. Even though proof coins were produced in 1951, very few have survived in pristine condition. Most were mishandled, toned over time, or damaged. But those few that remain in flawless condition, preserved, graded, and authenticated, they become the stuff of legend. Because these are not just coins. They are artifacts of American history, and people are paying serious money to own them. Why? Because proof pennies like this one don't just represent rarity, they represent perfection. And in the world of coin collecting, perfection equals value. Now, let's get to the part that gets every collector's heart racing. Exactly how much is a 1951 Lincoln Wheat penny from a proof set worth? Not a regular penny. Not a worn-out find from circulation. I'm talking about a certified, proof-struck, gem-quality 1951 wheat penny, sealed, slabbed, and shining like the day it was minted. Get ready, because one of these ultra-rare 1951 proof coins has sold for as much as $125,000 to $146,000. Let that sink in. 1 penny. Worth over $140,000. This is why serious collectors are constantly scanning coin shows, estate sales online, auctions, and forgotten collections, all hoping to stumble upon the next big score hiding in plain sight. So here's what you need to do right now. Start digging. Go through your family's coin jars, check those old mint sets, flip through inherited coin books. Look for that mirror-like finish, that ultra-sharp strike, and the clean, untouched surface that screams proof coin. If you see a 1951 penny that just looks too perfect, you could be looking at one of the most valuable small coins in America. And if you think you've found one, don't wait. Get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. That little piece of copper might just be your ticket to financial freedom. Smash that like button if you love finding out how valuable, worthless, coins can be. Subscribe to this channel for more insane coin values, secret collector finds, and money you never knew you had hiding in your pocket change. And share this video, because someone you know could be sitting on a 1951 proof penny worth more than $140,000, and have absolutely no idea. Until next time, keep your eyes open, your hands dirty, and your penny game strong. Top 6. You might want to stop scrolling, because what I'm about to tell you could change the way you look at pennies forever. There's a tiny coin that most people overlook. A coin that sat in pockets, jars, and old drawers for decades. But one version of it, one special, secret, almost mythical version, could be worth more than your car, your bills, and your entire vacation fund combined. I'm talking about the 1952 Lincoln Wheat penny, not the ordinary one you'd find in circulation, but the ultra-rare version pulled straight from a proof set. Yes, a penny from 1952, with a D mint mark, that collectors will pay a fortune for, and if you've got one, you're sitting on what could be a life-changing discovery. So stay locked in, because this is one of the most unbelievable and greediest coin stories in American numismatic history. Let's travel back to 1952. The Korean War was underway. Television was becoming a household norm, and America was booming. The U.S. Mint was producing millions of coins every day, including the beloved Lincoln Wheat penny, one of the most iconic and collectible coins in U.S. history. The Denver Mint, marked by the famous D under the date, struck hundreds of millions of pennies in 1952. But here's the twist. Proof coins were officially produced in Philadelphia during this time, not Denver. So how do we explain the 1952 D Lincoln Wheat penny in proof-like condition? That's the million-dollar mystery. Collectors and experts believe that a tiny number of 1952 D coins were struck under special conditions, using polished dies, higher striking pressure, and special care, resulting in coins with a mirror-like surface and exceptional sharpness. These are what we now recognize as proof-like or specimen-quality coins, and they're almost never found, especially with the D mint mark. But every so often, one surfaces. And when it does, coin collectors, dealers, and investors go wild. The bidding wars begin, the prices shoot sky high, and everyone wants to get their hands on this ghost of a coin that was never supposed to exist in this form. So what makes it valuable? Let's talk about the features. A 1952 D Lincoln Wheat penny from a proof set doesn't look like a regular coin. Its surface is flawless. The details? Sharp enough to cut glass. Lincoln's profile? Deep, bold, and perfectly struck. The wheat ears on the reverse? Crisp, bold, and glowing with luster. And that D under the date? That's what sends it into legendary status. The combination of a Denver Mint mark with proof-like characteristics is incredibly rare. Some believe they were test strikes. Others say they were minted for special presentation purposes. But whatever their origin, one thing is clear: they're worth an unbelievable amount of money. Now, let's get into the moment you've been waiting for. How much is a 1952 D Lincoln Wheat penny from a proof set worth today, if it's authenticated, professionally graded, and in pristine condition, with all the markings of a true proof-like strike? The price tags are absolutely insane. We're talking anywhere from $125,000 to $145,000. Yes. You've heard that right. A single penny, worth over $140,000. That's not a misprint. That's real money being paid by serious collectors for one of the rarest Lincoln Wheat pennies to ever come out of Denver. So what should you do? Search. Look through your coin jars. Check your inherited collections. Dust off that old coin album you forgot about in the attic. Because if you find a 1952 D penny that looks just a little too perfect, like it was frozen in time, you might be holding a six-figure treasure in your hand. And if you think you've found one, don't guess. Get it certified by PCGS or NGC. One official grading could be the difference between spare change and life-changing cash. If you love crazy coin stories like this, smash that like button right now. Subscribe for more rare coin finds, shocking values, and hidden money waiting in America's pockets. And share this with someone who loves treasure hunts, because they just might be sitting on a 1952 D proof-like penny worth over $140,000 and not even know it. Until next time, keep hunting, keep checking, and never underestimate the power of a penny. Top 7. You ever hear the phrase, "Check your change"? Well, after hearing what I'm about to share with you, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. We're talking about one of the most unexpected, unbelievable, and valuable coins hiding in plain sight. It's brown, copper, and barely bigger than your thumbnail, but in the world of serious collectors, it might as well be made of gold. This is the 1953 D Lincoln Wheat penny, not the everyday version, but the one struck under proof conditions. A penny so rare and so mysterious, it's been quietly selling for six-figure prices, turning average people into surprise success stories. And it could be sitting inside an old coin folder, a forgotten jar, or your grandma's desk drawer right now. So before you toss out that pile of old change, keep watching. Because one little penny from 1953 with a Denver Mint mark might just make you filthy rich. Let's rewind to 1953. Post-war America was thriving. Gas was 20 cents a gallon, Elvis hadn't hit the charts yet, and the Lincoln wheat penny was still one of the most widely used coins in the country. The Denver Mint was producing millions of pennies for circulation, but proof coins? Those were reserved for Philadelphia. Here's where things get interesting. Somehow, somewhere, a handful of 1953 Lincoln wheat pennies were struck with characteristics that mirror official proof coins: stunning shine, flawless detail, deep mirror-like fields, and precision striking that would make any collector's jaw drop. But here's the thing. Denver didn't officially produce proof coins in 1953. So how did these coins come to be? Experts believe these are specimen strikes, special coins, possibly made for testing, internal use, or VIP presentation. Others think they were struck by mistake using proof dies on Denver presses. Whatever the origin, they were never supposed to exist. And that makes them extremely valuable. Let's talk about what to look for. A 1953 penny from a proof set will look different. Not just a little shiny, mirror shiny. The strike is ultra sharp. Lincoln's features pop out like they're three-dimensional. The rims are perfectly squared, the letters are bold and crisp, and the reverse, those wheat stalks, they look like they were sculpted by hand, and that D mint mark under the 1953 date. That's what flips the value from cool coin to call the auction house now. Most people wouldn't even blink if they saw it. But a trained eye knows, this isn't pocket change. It's potentially a six-figure payday. So how many of these proof-like 1953 pennies exist? Not many. And that's why collectors are obsessed. Every time one shows up, it becomes a headline in coin news, and serious investors line up with deep pockets ready to own a piece of minting history. But what's the actual value? Let's say you've got one of these rare proof-struck 1953 wheat pennies, and you send it off to a grading company like PCGS or NGC. It comes back as a certified, high-grade, proof-like specimen, something so rare it's the kind of coin you lock in a vault. How much is it worth? You ready? This one little penny has been valued between $125,000 to $144,000. That's right. A single copper penny, worth over $140,000. It's the kind of find that turns a collector into a legend. And the wildest part? You might already have it. So here's your mission. Go check those coin jars. Pull out those old collections. Dig through those albums you inherited and never looked at. And if you spot a shiny, perfect-looking 1953 penny with a D under the date, get it checked immediately. Because if you're lucky, you're holding a piece of history that could change your life. If this blew your mind, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to the channel for more hidden treasures, rare coin values, and jaw-dropping finds from American currency history. And definitely share this with anyone who collects coins, because they might be sitting on a 1953 penny worth over $140,000 and not even know it. Until next time, stay curious, stay greedy, and never ignore a penny again. Top 8. Imagine holding a single penny in your hand that could pay off your debt, buy a brand new car, or cover an entire year of college tuition. No, this isn't some wild fantasy, it's a real possibility, and it's hiding in one of the most unlikely coins in U.S. history. This is the story of the 1954 Lincoln wheat penny, a tiny copper coin that, under the right conditions, has the power to make someone rich overnight. But here's the kicker. We're not talking about a regular 1954 penny. We're talking about a proof-struck 1954 Lincoln wheat penny with a D mint mark, a coin that shouldn't even exist, but somehow does. And that makes it not just rare, but insanely valuable. So grab your coin folders, check your change jars, and pay very close attention, because this might just be the most profitable video you ever watched. Let's take a trip back to 1954. The post-war boom was in full swing. Families were growing, suburbs were expanding, and pennies were everywhere. The Denver Mint was working overtime, churning out millions of Lincoln wheat pennies, ordinary coins meant for everyday use. But buried among the billions of copper cents, a strange anomaly occurred. A small handful of 1954 D Lincoln pennies appeared that were unlike the rest. These coins didn't look circulated. They didn't look average. They looked perfect. Shiny. Mirror-like. Sharper than any penny you'd see in circulation. These were proof-like coins, believed by experts to be either specimen strikes or special test pieces that were never meant for public release. Somehow, someway, they ended up in the hands of a lucky few. And today, those coins are worth their weight in gold, and then some. What makes them special? Let's break it down. A 1954 D Lincoln wheat penny from a proof set will have deep reflective fields. That means the flat areas of the coin look like a mirror. The design details are razor sharp. Lincoln's bow tie, his jawline, the lettering, the wheat stalks, all of it is crisp and bold. And the rims are perfectly squared off, giving the coin that unmistakable proof look. And then there's that all-important D mint mark, right below the year 1954. Now here's where things get truly wild. The U.S. Mint wasn't officially producing proof coins at the Denver Mint in 1954. That means these proof-like 1954 D pennies were never meant to be made this way. They're not just rare, they're mysterious. And in the coin collecting world, mystery plus rarity equals massive demand. That's why collectors, dealers, and auction houses lose their minds when one of these shows up. If you think you might have one of these rare coins, here's what to do. First, inspect the shine. Does it look like a mirror? Next, check the strike. Are the details bold and flawless? Finally, send it to a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC to confirm its authenticity. Because if it's the real deal, you're not holding a penny, you're holding a jackpot. So how much is a 1954 D Lincoln wheat penny from a proof set actually worth? Let's just say this isn't the kind of penny you drop in a vending machine. If professionally graded and certified in pristine proof-like condition, one of these ultra-rare 1954 D wheat pennies has sold for a staggering value between $125,000 to $143,000. That's right. A single copper penny, worth more than $140,000. It's hard to believe, but it's absolutely true. And right now, that same coin could be hiding in your home, waiting to be discovered. So don't ignore your old coins. Don't underestimate that shiny penny you found in a drawer. Because if it says 1954 and has a D under the date, and it gleams like a mirror, it might just be the most valuable thing you've ever owned. Smash that like button if this blew your mind. Subscribe to this channel for more unbelievable coin values, rare US currency discoveries, and the biggest hidden treasures hiding in your pocket change. And don't forget to share this video, because someone you know might be sitting on a 1954 D proof penny worth more than $140,000 and have no clue. Until next time, check your change. Count your coins. And never forget, even a penny can be a gold mine. Top 9. Are you sitting down? Because what I'm about to tell you might just change everything you know about pennies. That's right. I'm talking about the humble Lincoln wheat penny. You see them every day in your pocket, at the store, or even in a jar at home. But did you know that one specific 1957 D Lincoln wheat penny could be worth a fortune, not just a little fortune? We're talking about a jaw-dropping, life-changing amount of money. And it's sitting in front of you, right now. All you have to do is look closely. You might think, it's just a penny. But let me tell you, this particular penny isn't like the others. It's rare, it's perfect, and it's got something that coin collectors would kill to own. You've heard of the regular Lincoln wheat penny, right? Well, this is no ordinary one. This is the 1957 D Lincoln wheat penny, but not just any 1957 D penny. This one came from a proof set, and proof-like coins like this are incredibly rare. Let's go back in time to 1957. Eisenhower was president, Elvis was dominating the charts, and pennies were being produced by the millions. But here's the catch. Only a handful of 1957 D Lincoln wheat pennies were struck with proof-like characteristics. These pennies weren't meant for circulation. They weren't even supposed to be available to the public. These were special coins, and no one knew how much they'd be worth decades later. If you're lucky enough to find one, you've got a highly coveted treasure on your hands. These proof-like pennies are incredibly shiny, sharp, and beautifully detailed, so much so that they can easily be mistaken for official proof coins, even though they weren't. Now, let's get down to the real reason you clicked on this video. The money. If you're lucky enough to find a 1957 Lincoln wheat penny from a proof set, and it's been carefully preserved, you might have something worth a serious fortune. We're talking about pennies that have sold for as much as $125,000 to $140,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A single penny could be worth more than $140,000. That's not a typo. That's real money for a coin that many people would overlook in their pocket change. But when it comes to coin collectors and numismatists, this penny is golden. You might be wondering, how can I spot one of these valuable pennies? Well, the key is in its appearance. A 1957 Lincoln wheat penny from a proof set will shine like a mirror. It will have a deep, reflective surface, making the coin look almost brand new, even though it was minted over half a century ago. The details will be razor sharp, and the wheat stalks on the back will be so crisp, they'll almost look three-dimensional. The Lincoln portrait will be perfectly defined, and the rim will be flawless, a classic sign of a proof-like strike. But here's the thing, these coins were never meant for circulation. They were produced as test strikes or special presentation coins, and only a small number of them ended up in circulation. So if you happen to find one of these gems, hold on to it tight. And before you even think about spending that penny on a soda or a candy bar, get it authenticated and graded. Professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC can confirm if your penny is a real proof-like 1957 Lincoln wheat penny, and that certification can increase its value significantly. But how do you know if your coin is truly worth this kind of money? It comes down to condition and rarity. If your 1957 penny has been well preserved and is in proof-like condition, with a sharp strike, mirror-like surface, and no signs of wear or damage, you could be looking at a life-changing asset. Now, here's the part that should really get your heart racing. Even if you don't have one right now, the odds of finding one aren't impossible. People do find these coins in their coin collections, passed down from relatives, or even tucked away in old jars. So if you think you have one, don't just toss it aside. Get it checked by a professional. You could be sitting on a small fortune. The bottom line is this. The 1957 Lincoln wheat penny from a proof set isn't just a penny, it's an investment. And it might just be the coin that sets you up for a very comfortable future. So, before you forget about those old coins, go back and check. One little shiny penny could make you $125,000 to $140,000 richer. If this video has your mind racing, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with anyone you know who's into rare coins. Because they just might be sitting on a 1957 Lincoln wheat penny worth $140,000 and not even know it. Until next time, don't forget, check your coins. A penny really can make you a fortune. Top 10. Can you imagine holding a penny in your hand that could be worth more than a brand new car, or even an entire house? Sounds insane, right? But in the world of rare coins, it's possible. And today, we're going to talk about a coin that's so rare and valuable, it's turning heads and making collectors crazy. What is it? The 1958 Lincoln wheat penny. But not just any ordinary 1958 penny. This one comes from a proof set, and it's one of the rarest and most valuable pennies ever minted. Let me break it down for you. We're talking about a coin that almost no one even knew existed, until collectors started digging deep into the archives and realized just how extraordinary this coin truly is. In 1958. Most of the Lincoln wheat pennies in circulation were produced with standard strikes, regular, everyday coins that you'd find in your change at the store. But something rare happened that year, something so special that it turned the 1958 Lincoln wheat penny into a legend. Some of these pennies were struck in proof-like conditions, meaning they were minted with mirror-like finishes, razor-sharp details, and a luster that makes them look more like pieces of art than mere currency. Now here's the kicker. These proof-like 1958 pennies weren't meant to circulate. They were never supposed to be available to the public. They were meant for specialized collections, test strikes, or even presentation coins. The fact that some of these coins slipped through the cracks and ended up in circulation means they're extremely rare. And because of that, their value is through the roof. If you're lucky enough to find one of these pristine 1958 pennies from a proof set, you've got yourself a golden ticket. The shiny mirror finish, the sharp design, and that perfectly clear mint mark, all of these things make it stand out from a regular 1958 penny. So, let's get down to the really exciting part. How much is this rare penny actually worth? Now, I know you're probably thinking that this penny is just a few cents, maybe a few dollars if it's in good condition. But trust me, when it comes to the 1958 Lincoln wheat penny from a proof set, we're talking big money here. If your penny is in pristine condition, with that flawless strike, sharp details, and mirror-like finish, it could be worth between $125,000 to $137,000. Yes, that's right. A single penny could be worth more than $137,000. That's not a mistake. That's real, serious money, and it's the kind of coin that collectors are fighting over at auctions. And the best part? You might already have it, but here's the catch. Finding one of these rare proof-like 1958 pennies is no easy task. You have to know what to look for. These pennies are often mistaken for regular circulated coins, so if you're not careful, you might miss the chance of a lifetime. Here's what you need to know. A 1958 Lincoln wheat penny from a proof set will have that deep, reflective mirror finish that makes the coin shine like it's brand new, even though it was minted over 60 years ago. The details on the coin will be crisp and sharp, with clear separation between Lincoln's features, the date, and the mint mark. You'll also see a bold, clearly defined D mint mark under the date, indicating it was produced in Denver. If you find a coin like this, a beautiful, perfect 1958 penny, and it's still in high-grade condition, that coin could very well be worth up to $137,000. But don't just toss that coin into your pocket and forget about it. Get it checked. Get it graded by professionals like PCGS or NGC, because the value could be higher than you ever imagined. A high-grade proof-like 1958 penny could make you a small fortune, but only if it's properly authenticated and graded. So if you have a collection of old pennies or a jar full of change, now's the time to take a second look. That shiny penny you've been ignoring could be the key to your financial freedom. It doesn't matter if it's tucked away in an old folder, buried under your sofa cushions, or sitting in a drawer, find it. Get it checked. And if you happen to find a 1958 Lincoln wheat penny from a proof set in mint condition, get ready for a life-changing payday. If this video blew your mind, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends who collect coins. Someone you know might be sitting on a 1958 penny worth $137,000 and not even know it. Until next time, remember, never overlook a penny, because you never know when you might be holding $137,000 in your hand.